Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to the nitty gritty. Y'all, listen, it has been a challenge figuring out some things. Y'all, when you are faced with adversity, there are some things that you just have to overcome, okay? You just have to understand that that is just one piece of the learning curve. Okay, that's what I'm gonna call it. Because y'all will not know because it's gone, but I just finished a very, very beautiful and heartfelt um podcast with a special guest. But guess what, y'all? The entire platform crashed on me. I think it was just something with my software. I'm supposed to update it, but I just kind of figured that, you know, it'll all work out the way it's supposed to work out. And I just didn't think anything of it. And so we finished this whole wonderful almost an hour and then poof, it was gone without a trace. And then, I got my software back up and got on it and it had 0:00. Okay. There was no recording time. There was no way for me to recover anything. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Okay, I have tried different software. I was like, okay, let me try on my laptop. Let me try on my computer. But the computer did not work with the course that I have. Okay, why are there so many different little outlets? Okay, what I need just I don't even know what you call those in my mind. I see this little stick thing, right? That has all the different phone adapters. Okay, I need a USB-C, I need a USB, I need a whatever that adapter is with the little flat side and the curve on the other side. Okay, I need them all because whatever I got going on over here, it was not working. It was not working. And so a whole hour worth of recording was gone. And I said, you know what? I can either choose to just be like, it's super late. I've already done it. I can just hit it tomorrow. It's fine. And all the viewers are just gonna have to wait. But then I was like, nah, you know what? I'm not finna let this one little situation determine what I'm about to do with my time. Okay? And so I said, there are some nitty gritty things that need to be talked about because today was one of those days with my kids, and for these last couple of days I've had a lot of guests and visitors, and I really discovered that young people, children, mostly like little tots, little baby, they do not understand personal space. Do you hear me? Okay? They don't understand that your feet are not for standing on. They don't understand that your clothes are not for pulling on. I mean, I think if they could literally crawl inside your skin, they will be just fine. They will be just fine. And I'm like, aren't you guys sleepy? Don't you wanna, don't you wanna play with those hundreds of toys in there? Like we have done all the bonding. Now, y'all don't get me wrong now. I will spend all the time, okay, quality time, not no phone, no, I'm just staring at the TV. I mean quality time. And the second you get up to walk away, you hear little footsteps, or you're crawling, or you hear babbling, or you hear mommy, or you hear daddy, or you hear auntie, or you hear, hey cousin, and it's like, you be like, wait a minute, hold on. Can I go get me a spot of tea, please? Okay, can I get a swig of water? I promise I will join you back in whatever activity you want to do. Just let me get my swig of water. I'm sure I'm sure you'll be okay. But no, 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 no. Personal space, you cannot ask for that. Okay. And so when I'm thinking of like, okay, what time frame am I going to go live? Am I going to get on? I try to do it in the middle of the day. I'm like, ooh, this kid is down for their nap. Perfect. Let me hop on. But I tell you what, I must have like blinked too loud because then someone else woke up and I was like, oh, well, can't do it at that time because they're like, you got to go through the process. You got to make sure the diapers are changed. You got to make sure the kid is fed and happy and you got to do, and then I'm the kind of parent that's like, we're in the middle of doing something, then I see, oh yeah, I was supposed to finish that activity over there, whatever it was. It could be, I'm picking up some clothes, crayons, whatever. And I go over there and I go to get it, and then I go, oh yeah. And then that's what I was gonna do with that. So I go to put those items away, and then the other kid wakes up and you go, okay, I will do these activities in a minute. Let me go get this baby, or let me go get and then before you know it, you have created a whole circus out of your time. Okay. And then you go, well, when will I ever get this done? And I'm really trying to stay on top of things. Y'all can't see me, but I'm hitting them air quotes real hard. Okay. Because kids just aren't just some blip in time. Like, they need you to be attentive, they need you to be active, they need you to be present. You can't just be there, be scrolling on your phone, and then something happens and then you turn around like, why would you do that? Why would no, no, no. The real question is, why wasn't I paying attention? Why did I think I deserved a minute of time to myself? No, all jokes aside, but that happens. I mean, even if you have, like, in my house, we have baby gates, and you can close one side and put a baby gate on another of whatever room you're in. But that doesn't matter because they will stand at that baby gate and either shake it or cry or stare at you, you know. And my youngest, he gives me this look of like, how dare you have this divider between you and I? Okay, how dare you not let me into your personal space? You really don't need that cup of coffee that bad. Let me in and hold me while you make your coffee, and hold me while you do the dishes. And I need you to go show me what you're doing in the laundry room. And also, when you go to the bathroom, don't close the door. Don't do that. You know what? It doesn't matter if you close the door. I'm just going to stick my face under it, or I'm going to put my finger. And you just kind of have that moment where it goes, is this for real? Like, and you think it's just with your kids? No, it's with siblings too. Oh yes. Oh yes. The siblings, whether when I was growing up, it didn't matter where I was going. Okay, my brothers were like, "Hey, hey, Tasha," because nobody called me Natasha back then. It was just, well, if somebody called me Natasha, it was either because they didn't know me that well or I was in trouble. Like, I must have did something. You'd be like, "Hey, Natasha." I would look at them so strange, like, "Who are you, and why are you saying that?" I don't know why it becomes that way when you become accustomed to someone calling you a nickname or some other name. Um, Someone said they're called pet names, but I I gotta do some looking into that because don't give me no pet name, but there just could be something I don't understand about that. Nevertheless, though, they would just follow me around wherever. If I was going to the store, it didn't matter if that store was like next door. They were like, "Hey, I want to go. I want to come." And it's like, okay, okay, sure, you can. And having kids, or having, those that you are in charge of being the guardian over or babysitting them, whichever, they are like tag-alongs. I told them, I said, you guys remind me of the tags on my clothes. Not the ones you can remove, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that does that when the tags get itchy on the shirts or the briefs, whatever it is. I said briefs. I mean shorts. That's what I call briefs. Okay. I said that in another podcast and someone's like, briefs are for men. And I'm like, well, okay, potato, potato. I put them on. It's fine. And so I, they're like, man, you guys remind me of the tags on the clothes. You're just always there. And I'm like, that's great though, because what if the time comes where you're like, Mom, I don't really want to be bothered. Hey, Tasha, I just kind of need my space. Like, although you're being respectful, I feel like I would be like, that's kind of sad. Like, that kind of hurt my feelings. What do you mean you don't want to spend time with me? You want your space. What is space? I am your space. And so the roles reverse after a while, where you're like, dang, I'm kind of used to you being, in my space. I'm kind of used to you wanting to see what I'm into and what I got going on. And I'm just like, I kind of enjoy that. Like, I kind of miss that. And I'm like, well, how do you find that fine line, like that balance in between? Like, I don't know if it's possible, but sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to reject you in this moment, even though you are kind of pushing it. Okay, you are just requiring my every last bit of attention, and I'm trying to delegate my attention. Okay, I'm trying to get something done over here, and I'm trying to get something done over here because, unbeknownst to you, we have something to do later, and this is predicated off of me getting this done. That's how we think. Well, maybe it's just me as a mom. I'm not just thinking in that moment. I'm thinking of like a couple moments down the line, a few hours from now, what me getting done now and how it will affect the things that I have to do later, or me not wanting to do things later on. And I just be like, you know what? Either I let you in my bubble now, or I'm gonna turn around and poof, you're just not even gonna want to be in it. So I was like, okay. But and I got advice on it. I was like, man, what do you other parents do? Like, I can't be the only one that just hits that moment where I'm just like, gosh, come on, let me breathe, let me scratch my head, let me, you know, just for a second. I promise I love you. Like, I promise I am attentive to your needs. I am I'm paying attention. I just need a second to just, whoo, okay, and I'm back, and we're back, and it's all good. you know? But kids don't think about that. They're like, why do you need a minute? I don't understand. You want me to count to a minute? That's what my daughter asked me, and I was like, do I want you to count to a minute? No, no, I don't want you to count to a minute. I want you to give me a minute. Do you know what this lovely, lovely, lovely child of mine does? She goes to her iPad and she starts a timer for 1 minute. When I tell you, I don't know how I got that upset, but I was so upset. I was so upset. Not at her ability to just use her own thought process. Like, I was actually like, wow, she's really giving me a minute. Like, you thought about that. Like, you figured out, like, how can I ensure that I really give my mom exactly what she asked for? I was more upset that, dang, why didn't I say 10? Why didn't I give myself more time? This kid is over here trying to respect my space, trying to give me the time that I need to get my scruples together to not lose my marbles. And here I go, only giving myself 1 minute. Wow. But I tell you, I never made that mistake again. And I tell you what, she always went back to set that timer after that. I was like, I don't know who is outwitting who in this situation, because when you say, okay, 10 minutes, in 10 minutes, you guys, you're not expecting to act. Maybe it's just me. Let me not speak for y'all, but maybe it's just me not expecting to actually get 10 minutes. You really hoping like, oh, they might just forget about whatever it was they came to ask me for like the fourth time. Maybe, maybe they're just going to decide I want to do something else, or they would just do it. And they would completely forget that they even said, you know, hey, mama said she was going to do this and this. Maybe the time is gonna go on, the sun is gonna set, they're gonna get in the shower, they're gonna eat dinner, they're gonna get into bed, and then something will go bing, and they'll be like, hey mom, or dad, or grandpa, or grandma, cousin, sister, brother, we never did X, Y, and Z. And you can go, oh man, well, maybe tomorrow. And then you walk away with a smile on your face. Okay, look, I keeps it real, okay? I am not the only one that be like, why did I say I was going to do that? And now everywhere I go, they're popping up like those pop-up ads on a virus-filled computer, okay? They're relentless. They're relentless. And then all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, can I have a hug, mom? Oh, can I have a I just love you. Oh, well, I just really want you to know how much I care about you." And I'd be like, mm-hmm, you really do, don't ya? You just are so affectionate right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, I love you too. Mm-hmm. You know, and I've done that so many times where my oldest daughter would be like, I'm here for something, don't you? And I go, yep, every time. Or she'll start, when you've been around uh, uh, a certain kid for an amount of time, or you you just kind of watch them. My daughter thinks she'll walk over and she'll be like, I was wondering. And I'd be like, mm-mm, mm-mm, shut it down, hang up the phone, turn off the lights, mm-mm. Because whatever it is it's gonna require me to stop doing all of these things, which, mind you, it's okay. I want to tell all the parents out there, it's okay to sit down, whatever it is you're doing, and take a second and be like, okay, what is it that you needed me to do? Or what is it that you wanted me to do? Or what is it that you needed me to answer? Because I can tell you how many times I caught myself saying, hold on, in a second. And I didn't mean it that way, but I could tell by her expression, like, dang, that used to be my expression. And I don't want you to feel like how I used to feel. So let me show you it's okay. It's okay to put the pen down. It's okay to be like, you know what? Okay, you want to show me something that just happens to be in the back of the house, away from everything that I was doing, and I'm gonna have to go walking through this maze of toys that your brother and sister have created in the hallway, and I'm gonna have to jump over the lava hill of Legos and enjoy the entire trip. Okay, okay, I can do that. I can do that for you. Yep, I'll do that. Just to get back there. And she put a star sticker on the wall. A little itty bitty smaller than your pinky nail. Yep, look at your pinky nail. Smaller. Okay? Be like, look what I put on the wall. Oh, and see, now you have to do that. You have to be excited. Okay? You cannot not be excited. That is just a dream killer right there. Okay? You can't do that to kids. Okay? I don't care if you got to bring that excitement out from your big toe. Okay? You got to bring it. You have to be, you know, you have to show them because to them that might be a really big deal. Okay. I don't know how she got that star sticker. I I don't know if she if she worked really hard at school and then they were giving out a raffle and her ticket got chosen and everybody applied. I don't know if the scene in her mind is more intricate and more special to her than what I'm perceiving. In my mind, I'm like, I'm doing all these things to make sure I'm preparing, for the things we got to do, which affect you. And you want to show me this itty bitty star on the wall. And you're very proud to show me. I can tell in your facial expression, I can tell in your demeanor, you're waiting for me to be as excited as you are about this little bitty star on the wall, on a white wall. Hmm. Okay. Wow. Girl, how'd you get this sticker? I think this is the smallest sticker I ever seen. Like, how did you get it on there? You have to like be invested in their world because that's how you get invited in. Like you have to show them. And half the time you may start off faking the funk. Like don't be acting like you just a 1,000% invested in every single itty bitty little itty bitty thing. Okay? All of your exclamations and all that. Oh, what? Don't you can't fake it in nitty gritty. You got to be real. You got to be real. And sometimes you start off like, oh, that's a what? That's a picture of a chicken. Oh, and then they go, oh, you didn't like it? No, 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 baby, that wasn't that. I just thought, I thought it looked more like a palm tree mixed with a koala and a little fancy teacup. Like I thought you went fancy on me. You got you you gotta understand that they're trying to understand you because kids are always trying to please their parents. They're always trying to, you know, figure them out. And so when they see that, they're like, well, maybe I need to tweak it. Maybe it's not good enough. Maybe it's not. And you don't, you don't want those doubts and things like that to be in your child's mind because that just plants the seed for people pleasing. And oh my gosh, we have all encountered a person who loves to people please. I mean, and I don't mean just oh, well, I usually try to accommodate people, I'm very soft spoken. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people that would kiss the souls of somebody's shoe fresh out the garbage truck, would kiss that thing just to please the owner. Okay? And I, for the life of me, will not sit by and let that happen. So when my kids be all up under me, when my nieces and nephews and cousins, they be just all in my space, I really be like, that's okay. That's okay because you're trying to figure me out. You're trying to figure me out just like half the time I'm trying to figure myself out. So since we here, like with my oldest, I wasn't super young, but I was fairly young, and I'm still young, first of all. I'm still young now. And all your other young parents out there, y'all young, okay? I don't care if you like 50, 60, 70, you still young, okay? Okay. And so when um she was when she was born, I used to be like, "Oh, that's my little broke bestie." I don't say that no more because obviously I'm not speaking poverty and being broke or being penniless into her life. Some people think words don't matter like that. Hey, but they matter to me, so let that be that. But I used to be like, "Oh, hey, I guess we both grown up. We both trying to figure this out." But then I realized, no, no, no. I'm not here to be your friend. Like, I'm friendly, with you, but I am not your friend, okay? We have that best friend kind of love, like you can come to me with anything and I will hear you and I talk with you and I advise you and things like that. But outside of that though, I have to understand that you are looking to me to figure out this thing called life. How I react or how I handle something, that is exactly how you're going to handle it. And I cannot be, all shocked like, wow, why would you do that? Uh, you would do that because you've been dang near up under my skin for all your life, and that's how I handled it. So it's like we can't be out here expecting the untaught, okay? Like it don't work like that. And so I just started thinking like, man, why do you like there are some things that we will see in other people like we as people, let's raise our hands. We as people love to people watch. I don't care who you are. You looking. Okay, you side eyeing, you glancing. You ain't just all in you are nosy. Okay? Let's just say we are nosy. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But we do that. We cycle in information. We be looking at people like, oh, why they, or we be like, oh wow, that is so cool that they're doing that. Kids do the same thing, except for kids don't know how to use that voice inside their head. Okay, they have to say it out loud. I don't know why they do it. I don't understand why it doesn't become obvious that that is not the place nor the time to make that comment. I don't understand it. And there's nothing you can do. It's like you can glare around and you can, that they don't understand. They be kind of like, oh, you didn't want me to tell grandmama that her wig sitting sideways looked like it got converters under that. You didn't want me to say that. You didn't want me to tell that lady that her shirt looks like something that I got out of my little plate. No, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I did not. You were all up under me. You were all in my bubble. But you use this one moment, this one off guard moment to step aside and say the most outlandish thing possible. And I don't understand. And they were like, well, I just was thinking. And you don't want to tell them don't think because you don't want to plant those negative seeds. But at the same time, it'd be like, baby doll, if this is a product of you thinking, um, let's revisit the drawing board on that one, okay? Because I'm not too sure you got the right stuff up on your board. Let's take a look at your rough draft. No, and y'all, I love witty humor, so I'm always like, so when the kids say these witty things, I'll be like, that was good. I can't hold you up. That you did that. You did that. And so, and those are the things like we all love those positive moments. Oh yeah, like, oh, even though we try not to be super prideful, in a kind of, what is that? Like in a showy way, but when we see that they're exemplifying the traits that we have or the morals that we have or the integrity that we have, we're very proud of that. But then we don't want to acknowledge those habits and things that they have that aren't that great. We tend to be like, I don't know where you getting this from. I don't. Well, who have they been up under? Because that kid don't understand personal space, and even if they do understand it, they don't care about it. They're gonna be in your personal space. So I think you should be asking yourself, why did you teach them that? But that starts ruffling feathers right there. People don't like that. Don't you go shining the light on me and I'm trying to focus it on somebody else. And when I tell you, The moment you become okay with just being like, yeah, let me fix that. Like, let me not so much hone in and be like, you better not do this, and I better not catch you doing that, and you better not talk like this, and I better not. Well, it will be a whole lot easier for that person to fall in line with whatever it is that they're not supposed to be doing, or that they're not supposed to be acting like, or that they're not supposed to be talking like, if you changed it first. It will be a whole lot easier if the environment, their lack of personal space, became different. And I'd be like, there was this movie where she'd be like, well, I'd be like, and I'd be like, and I remember saying, why do you keep repeating that? But then it panned out to her parents, and that's all they kept saying. And I was like, see? I was like, wow, like little parrots. Now kids are, no, kids are like parrots. I don't know if there's another bird or another animal that mimics you or mocks you. I think mock is the word that mocks, or mimics your demeanors or what you say. There might be, I don't know, but the animal I was taught and that I grew up with was a parrot. That parrot is going to repeat what you say, is going to repeat the pitch that you said it in, and kids are like that. They're just mirrors. That's how I see them. So when I'm looking at something or I'm like, I don't really like that, I don't like how you doing that. I don't like that you just went about your business like that. And I go, well, maybe, just maybe I go about my business that way. You know, that could very well be it, that I went about my business that way. And that's why you're going about your business that way. Maybe you respond that way because I do. And so with them not acknowledging your personal space. They gotta see how you brush your teeth. They gotta see how you wash dishes. They gotta watch you take every bite of your food out of your bowl or off your plate. Just use that moment to be like, you know what? Let me be intentional about whatever it is that I'm doing. I don't care if it's washing your hands. Okay? Show them the proper method for washing your hands. Okay, turn on that water, wash your hands, put some soap in your hands, scrub, 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 bust them suds, get in between them fingers, get on them nails. Like, yeah, it may seem exaggerative because we be doing it all the time. We know how to wash our hands to get in, get out, but they already need to learn it. So we're teaching them our cut corner kind of way. Like, of course, you still washing your hands. Your hands are clean. I get it. But let them learn the foundation. Let them learn the principles. Let them learn the why. Let them learn those little things that we be like, oh my gosh, this step, that step. Let them learn it. Eventually, they probably gonna start, finding their own way to do it. They may put the soap in their hands first, put some water, scrub it, figure it out. They don't like it, whatever. But at least give them a chance. That's my thing. If they're gonna always be up under you, at least give them a chance. Don't just be out here expecting them to just have it right just because you said it and there's nobody living it. That's asinine. And then they end up in trouble or get grounded or their own punishment or whatever other words there are to describe that. Because it doesn't make sense. And it's not fair. So I'm like, hey, let those little, I call them crumb snatchers, but somebody told me that that's not okay too. Curtain client, no, because that sounds, um, I don't know, little pocket, no, that sounds weird too. Maybe, you know what? I'm just going to call them little blessed children, and that be that. So just give them a chance. Y'all just give them a chance. And it's cool. It's cool that they don't know personal space. Just be like, well, since you're here, let's go ahead and impart some great things in here. Okay, y'all. Y'all doing fine. It's okay. It's okay. They're not going to be in your space forever. But when they're not, well, you're going to kind of want them to be. Maybe not all the time. Maybe nowhere near as much. Maybe some of y'all got some, like my baby got, he's a Velcro baby. That baby got to be attached. He got to be touching you. He got to be leaning on something, something. And if you didn't grow up in an affectionate household, always having somebody touching you, always having somebody leaning on you, or always, it can be jarring. But you're okay. You doing all right. You doing the best you can. And for those that you come from a household where you guys are just always just there, just always just touching elbows, like fist bumping, y'all, you're hugging, y'all. If that's you and your children are always there, and sometimes you like, man, I grew up this way, and even I need a break. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with you. I understand traditions, I understand culture, I understand, but it is okay for you to want some time to blink a couple times and there'll be nobody there wanting to watch you blink. Okay, I know that sounds silly, but for real, sometimes we be like, man, can I just let me just stare at this wall and nobody call my name. Like it can get like that, and that's okay. That's okay. That's what this nitty gritty podcast is about. Because there be stuff going on, there be stuff going through our minds, there are stuff that we experience around the house or outside the house or with the kids at the sports, at the school. The list goes on. And we're expected to just let it roll off and go about our day. But sometimes we don't want it to roll off. Sometimes I'll be like, did y'all ever experience this? Like, were you ever at this point where your kids was getting on your nerves? You know, some people are like, no, I would never. My kid, hey, I love that for you. I love that for you, but that's not what this is, okay? That's not what this is, and that's okay. So look, y'all, I am looking forward to our next live. I'm so glad you guys hopped on. Thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much for just being you guys. I will catch y'all soon.